Hi there, and welcome to the weekly Asylum and Immigration Reform Update, where I share with you 5 recent stories of interest to asylum seekers and those who want to stay current on immigration news. This week, we're discussing
Harris's likely presidential nomination sparks debate on U.S. immigration policy. The unauthorized immigrant population in the U.S. grew to 11 million in 2022. The Trump campaign is accused of pitting Black Americans against recent immigrants. Migrant couples marry in New York City to consolidate asylum claims, start new lives. A report challenges false claims about immigration in the 2024 campaign season.
I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now, as an asylum lawyer, I help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. It's my pleasure to bring you asylum and immigration reform updates each week right here on the Political Asylum Lawyers YouTube channel. Okay, let's get to the news. First up,
immigration advocates are discussing what a Harris presidency might mean for U.S. immigration policy after the vice president emerged as the likely Democratic nominee for president following President Joe Biden's withdrawal from the race. This shift has energized the Democratic base, with Harris receiving record-breaking donations. As senator, Harris opposed Trump-era immigration policies and supported protections for undocumented immigrants. In her role as vice president, she has focused on addressing root causes of migration from Central America through diplomatic efforts and public-private partnerships. The global migration landscape has changed significantly, with record-high displacement and diversification of migrant origins at the U.S.-Mexico border. Harris now faces the challenge of reshaping the immigration narrative amid a divided Congress. Her immigrant background and track record position her to counter misinformation and promote a more inclusive vision of immigration policy, emphasizing immigrants' contributions to American society.
And next up, for update number 2,
the Pew Research Center released a report on the unauthorized immigrant population in the United States, finding that this population grew to 11 million in 2022, reversing a long-term decline since 2007. While still below the 2007 peak of 12.2 million, this increase marks the first sustained growth since 2005 to 2007. Mexican immigrants remain the largest group, but have declined significantly since 2007. Populations from other regions, including the Caribbean, South America, and Asia, have increased. 6 states saw growth in their unauthorized immigrant populations, with only California experiencing a decrease. Unauthorized immigrants now make up 3.3% of the total United States population and 23% of the foreign-born population. They live in 6.3 million households, with 70% being mixed status. The unauthorized immigrant workforce grew to 8.3 million in 2022, representing 4.8% of all United States workers.
All right, time for our third immigration update.
A recent op-ed by New York Times columnist Paul Krugman accuses Donald Trump's campaign of trying to pit Black Americans against recent immigrants. According to Krugman, Trump's campaign has intensified its anti-immigration rhetoric, now focusing on the alleged economic harm immigrants inflict on Black Americans. Trump and his allies claim immigrants are stealing jobs from Black workers and decimating their wages. This narrative, emphasized at the Republican National Convention and in recent interviews, represents a shift from previous accusations of immigrant crime. However, economic data contradicts these claims. Black unemployment is at historic lows, and median Black earnings have increased since Trump's term. Experts note that immigrant workers often possess different skills than native-born workers, even at similar education levels, leading to less direct job competition. Critics view this rhetoric as a cynical attempt to appeal to Black voters, Krugman says.
And moving right along, update number 4.
New York City's Marriage Bureau has seen an influx of migrant couples seeking civil ceremonies amid the city's ongoing immigration surge. Many are longtime partners from Latin American countries where informal unions are common, now formalizing their relationships so that they can include one another in their asylum claims. A person can only include their spouse as a dependent in their asylum claim if they are legally married. Immigration lawyers often advise this step to help consolidate cases and prevent family separations during legal proceedings. While some couples cite practical reasons for marrying, many still celebrate the occasion as a significant life event. The trend reflects how migrants are increasingly participating in daily city life, from working to enrolling children in schools. For these couples, marriage represents both a pragmatic decision and a new chapter in their lives as they seek to establish themselves in the United States.
And finally, our 5th immigration update for this week.
The Center for Migration Studies has released a report challenging numerous false or misleading statements about immigration during the 2024 campaign season. The report refutes claims about the number of undocumented immigrants in the United States, border crossings during recent administrations, and the economic impact of immigrants. It counters assertions that immigrants take jobs from U.S. citizens, strain social programs, or increase crime rates. The center argues that undocumented immigrants contribute billions to Social Security and Medicare without receiving benefits. It also disputes claims about immigrant voting and the feasibility of mass deportation. The report emphasizes that most migrants arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border are asylum seekers complying with international law. It concludes that mass deportation would be costly, economically damaging, and potentially violate the rights of legal immigrants and U.S. citizens.
And that wraps up this week's immigration news. If you want to win asylum in the United States, then you should call my office today. We help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you are. Call us now to schedule an asylum strategy session so that we can help you to secure your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Brian Manning, and it's an honor to serve you in your immigration journey.